Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning into another episode of Lingo Dose. I'm Emma.
And I'm Josh. Today we're diving into a topic that resonates with many of our listeners. The real reason your English fluency feels stuck.
Exactly. You know the feeling, right? You've been studying. You know the grammar, you've got the vocabulary down. But when it's time to actually speak, you just freeze up.
It's so frustrating. You have the perfect sentence ready to go in your head, but you hesitate, you pause. And that hesitation isn't because you don't know what to say. It's because you're looking for the perfect way to say it. You're worried about making a mistake, sounding silly, or being judged.
And that right there, folks, that constant need to be flawless, is the single biggest thing killing your fluency. It's not your vocabulary or your grammar. It's this hidden belief that you have to be perfect.
So today we're going to show you why this one mistake is the root of all your hesitation, and we'll give you a powerful strategy to finally overcome it. Let's dive in.
So, Josh, let's get into the specifics. Does this internal monologue sound familiar to our listeners? You're in a conversation, maybe at work or just chatting with a friend. It's your turn to talk, and your brain just goes into overdrive.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, okay, what's the best word here? Is this the right tense? Wait, is my pronunciation off? Let me just say it in my head one more time to make sure it's perfect.
And while all of that is happening, the moment is gone. The conversation has moved on, and you're just left feeling frustrated and even more convinced that your English isn't good enough.
Right. This is what we call the perfection trap, and it's a vicious cycle. You feel like you can't speak until your English is perfect, but you can't get it perfect until you actually speak. It's a paradox that keeps so many talented learners completely stuck.
And here's the real talk, folks. Fluency is not a knowledge problem. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have enough English to communicate. Fluency is a psychological problem. It's a performance problem. More than anything, it's a fear problem.
Exactly. It's the fear of making mistakes, the fear of being judged. We see polished speakers on TV or listen to eloquent podcasters, and we compare our messy, real time attempts to their final, edited product. We start to believe perfect is the standard. But this perfectionism is the most destructive force in your journey. Research shows that these tendencies are directly linked with higher language anxiety and more hesitation. It's not a motivator, it's an anchor.
Moving on, Josh, let's dig deeper into how this actually destroys your fluency. It's not just a small problem, it systematically dismantles your confidence. It shows up in three main ways: the freeze, the procrastination, and the burnout.
So let's start with the freeze. It's that moment of hesitation we just talked about, but magnified. This fear of being imperfect creates what psychologists call a high affective filter. Think of it like a wall in your brain. When you're relaxed, the wall is low and language flows. But when you're anxious about being perfect, that wall goes way up and blocks everything.
Your brain gets totally hijacked, right? It's trying to be the speaker and the judge at the same time, and it just can't do both. That cognitive overload leads to a total system shutdown. You know the info, but you can't access it. That's not a sign of bad English. It's a sign that anxiety has taken over.
The second killer is the procrastination. This one's a little more subtle. Because you think you need to be perfect, you tell yourself you're not ready for real world speaking. You pass on giving that presentation. You stay quiet in meetings. You send an email instead of making a call because writing gives you time to get it perfect.
Absolutely. And every time you avoid speaking, you're just reinforcing the belief that you're not good enough. You tell yourself you're just waiting until you're better. But what you're really doing is procrastinating on your own fluency. You end up stuck in a studying phase forever without ever doing.
And that leads us to the final one, the burnout. Striving for perfection is just exhausting. It turns what should be a fun journey into a stressful performance. Every conversation feels like a test, and every mistake feels like a failure. That's not sustainable.
It really isn't. Your brain is already working hard just to process a new language. Adding the insane pressure of being flawless is a recipe for mental exhaustion. So many learners quit, not because English is too hard, but because the weight of trying to be perfect is too much to carry. They burn out thinking they don't have what it takes, when really the goal they set was impossible from the start.
So, if trying to be perfect is the problem, what's the solution, Emma?
Well, it's not about more grammar drills. The solution is a radical mindset shift. It's about changing the goal itself.
Let's talk about that reframe. For your whole journey, your goal has probably been to speak English perfectly. We want you to throw that goal away. Right now, from this moment on, your new goal isn't perfection. Your new goal is connection.
I love that. And it's not just a nice idea, it's a strategic move. When you talk in your native language, is your goal to be flawless? Or is it to be understood? To share an idea, tell a joke, build a relationship? The goal is to connect.
Exactly. Native speakers don't expect you to be perfect. They are far more impressed by your courage to try than they are bothered by a few mistakes. Chasing perfection can actually make you sound robotic and distant because your focus is on your own performance, not on the person you're talking to.
So true. When you shift your goal from, I need to say this perfectly, to, I need to connect with this person, all that pressure just melts away. A grammar mistake isn't a disaster anymore. It's just a tiny bump on the road to understanding.
Okay, so that's the new mindset, but what about a practical strategy?
For that, we have the speak first, correct later rule. It's simple but incredibly effective. The rule is this: when you are in a conversation, your only job is to speak. You are forbidden from analyzing or correcting yourself during the chat.
I like that. It's like you wear two different hats. In a conversation, you have your speaker hat on. The speaker's job is just to communicate and connect. The speaker cares about flow and getting the message out.
Right. Then, after the conversation is over, you can put on your student hat. The student reflects. The student can think, was there a word I struggled with? What could I do better next time? This is when you do the learning.
By separating the two roles, you free yourself up to be fully present. Let's imagine you're in a meeting and want to say, I think this new marketing strategy will have a significant effect on our sales. But you get stuck on effect. The old you would freeze, but the new you, wearing the speaker hat, might say,
This new plan will have a big impact on our sales. This new plan will really change our sales. This plan will make our sales go up. It will be a big result.
they all work. They achieve the goal, connection. Your point is understood. Later, with your student hat on, you can look up effect and practice it. You learn from it without ruining the moment.
Okay, so how can our listeners make this a real habit, Josh? Let's give them a clear action plan.
Absolutely. Here's a 3-step plan you can start today. Step 1. Embrace good enough. Speaking with the 80% rule. For the next 30 days, just speak if you're 80% sure. Don't wait for 100%. Start small. Order coffee in English. Ask for directions. The goal is just to take action and prove to yourself that good enough communication works.
I love that. And step 2, the 1 minute daily challenge. This one is all about making it easy to start. Every day, for just 1 minute, record yourself speaking English on your phone. The only rule is you can't stop for the full 60 seconds. If you make a mistake, keep going. It trains your brain to prioritize flow over perfection in a safe space.
And finally, step 3. Keep a progress journal, not a mistake journal. At the end of each day, write down one successful communication you had. It could be tiny. Maybe you understood a joke on a show or you did your 1 minute challenge. Perfectionism thrives on focusing on what you did wrong. A progress journal flips that script and builds your confidence by giving you daily proof that you are improving.
Your journey away from perfectionism starts right now, folks. And it starts with celebrating imperfection. So, our challenge to you is this. In the comments below, share one good enough communication you had recently. A time you spoke English even when you weren't sure it was perfect.
Let's create a space where we celebrate effort, not perfection. Sharing your story will inspire others and prove to yourself that connection is what truly matters. And of course, if this episode helped you, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more helpful tips and some good laughs with us every week.
For years, you've been told that you need more vocabulary or more grammar to be fluent. But the truth is, the one thing holding you back is the belief that you must be perfect.
Today, we learned that this is a trap, but we also learned the way out. Remember, the path to fluency isn't paved with perfect grammar. It's paved with courageous, imperfect attempts to connect.
Your new goal is connection, not perfection. Your new strategy is to speak first and correct later. Remember, folks, fluency is not a destination you arrive at when you're perfect. Fluency is what you build every single time you choose to speak, despite your imperfections.
Done is better than perfect. Your voice, with all its beautiful human flaws, is worth hearing. So, start using it today. Until next time, keep practicing and stay confident.
See you next time.